stop right there. Too much refrigerant is just as bad as no refrigerant, all right? So if you put too much refrigerant in your AC system, your system's gonna get hot. But right now we sitting at 32 degrees, so. All right, y'all, welcome back to Philly D's Garage. So as y'all can see, got the Nissan Armada back in the garage. So apparently this truck does have an AC leak. So this is basically a follow-up on AC service that I did a little while back. So I've been driving the truck for a while, and finally noticed that, you know, the AC coldness started just getting a little less cold. So I'm like, all right, something going on. So pulled it back in, and I've already found the leak. Now there's numerous ways that you can find an AC leak. A vacuum pump, like I did the last time, they got leak detectors. You can fill the AC system up with air and check with water. Same way you check like a tire, checking for a leak in a tire. There's a lot of ways, but when I did it, I used a vacuum pump, and this truck set for at least an hour, and the vacuum stayed at 30 inches of mercury. So I assumed that there was no leak, and that's crazy because like if your truck was in the shop or your car was in the shop, we did the same thing, and your AC held vacuum that long, like the technician would just, you know, they would just assume that your AC system has no leaks. But AC systems can be really tricky, and they can be really slow. So sometimes you just got to be real patient, and you really gotta take your time with diagnosing it. And sometimes one way of diagnosing it is not enough. You might need a leak detector, a vacuum pump, you know, all those things together to find out where a leak is at. So let me show y'all where my leak is at. So if y'all can see this hose right here, you can actually see all the green refrigerant that was leaking out. So all the saturation here. Now if you see green anywhere in your car, it's either coolant or refrigerant. Those are only two things that'll show up green on your car. So I know it's not coolant in my situation, because my coolant is actually red or orange in this truck. So so it's pretty obvious. So now it's like, when I did this AC service the last time when I did it, I didn't see this wasn't here. I can only assume maybe because there wasn't refrigerant in there, you know what I mean? I don't drive this truck that much, so you know, that AC, that, I don't know, maybe it dried up over time or something, but this was not wet. Like, I did not see that. You know, maybe I overlooked it. I could have overlooked it, but I did not see that. So now that when I filled up this AC system a little while back, now that the refrigerant, I put refrigerant back in there, you know, now it's showing its colors, you know what I mean? And I caught it, so it's definitely leaking in this spot. Now, so my truck has dye in it, and I had my AC refrigerant glasses, but I can't find them. But this is the only leak that I'm seeing. I looked all over this truck. I don't see any other leaks. I checked the condenser, which is down in here. You know, I don't see any other leaks. So I'm assuming that this is definitely the culprit right here, y'all. And y'all can see that it's pretty obvious is what's going on right there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take that nut off right there. It should be an O-ring inside of there. I don't know if, I think that's a 10 mil or something, or 12, but we're gonna take that off. and change the O-ring that's in there. Now I should have I got O-rings, y'all. So you want to use refrigerant. You want to use O-rings that's meant for refrigerant. So you don't want to go using regular O-rings. I should have some extra ones in here somewhere. All right, there we go. So you want to use O-rings like this. They should be green. Refrigerant O-rings are green. So one of these should fit. This is like a regular O-ring. So one of these should fit in there. I got to take it off and see which one it takes. But yeah, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a socket to pop that off, change the seal in there, and then we're gonna re-vacuum the system out, because again, right now, that's my method of checking this leak, and I'm almost pretty sure that that's the only leak right there, because it's pretty obvious. But so we're gonna change the O-ring, vacuum the system out once again, charge it up, and go from there. All right, y'all. So it's a 12 millimeter. Got my ratchet, 12 mil. I'm gonna take it off real quick. All right, this is kind of tight, so there we go. All right, I'm gonna stop right there. I'm gonna screw it out with my hand so I don't drop it. So I already all the refrigerant is out. There was only a little bit of pressure left in there. So we just see if we can pop this off. Oh man. All right, let me separate that real quick. All right, y'all, so I got that hose off. It was pretty difficult to get that hose out. Took me about 20 minutes between finding the right tool and everything to get it out. So what I used was a flathead like this, so you get in between the two lines, and then I used a pick like this so I could get in between and further press it out. So as you can see, I got a few marks on here, but that ain't gonna hurt nothing. But you gotta get in there and separate this from the other side. And with this gasket being in there, it's gonna be a little difficult to get that out because that gasket is there. So I know y'all really can't see that well, but the gasket looks pretty beat up. So that was definitely a problem. And the other thing I noticed is that this gasket is not, this O-ring is not green. So usually, you know, from what I've seen, refrigerant O-rings are usually green, but now it's like, should I put a green one back on, or should I put the regular one back on? I don't know. If I got that right size O-ring, whether it's green or black, it's going back in. So all right, so what you want to do is get you a pick and pry that O-ring out, and then we're gonna swap it out. All right, y'all, so I got that seal out. So once you get this seal out, it'll look like that. You'll see the gap right here that the hose actually, I mean not the hose, the O-ring actually fills up. So without that O-ring being there and that space right there, that's gonna leak. So that's why the O-ring is there, to prevent that from leaking. So let me show y'all what y'all got to do. All you got to do is take your old O-ring and just line it up with the new one. So it should be the same size. All right, and the same thickness. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna throw this back in there, and maybe you could take you a little bit of oil and put it around this O-ring, a little bit of AC oil, put it around this O-ring, and slide it back on and bolt it up. All right, y'all, so I got that hose back in. Now if you're dealing with one of your AC hoses, particularly on a Nissan Armada, this thing might be pretty difficult to get in and get out. So to get it back in, I use these hose clamp pliers. Basically they just grab, I had them grabbing on both sides of this fitting, and it helped me squeeze it back into place. So, and with that brand new O-ring on there, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to slide it back in. But at first I used some of this AC oil on the O-ring, and that wasn't working, so then I sprayed it up with some of this liquid wrench, and it worked a little better. So now that we got the new O-ring in there, we can get the vacuum pump and the AC refrigerant and charge it up. All right, y'all, so remember, if you ever open up your AC system, doesn't matter where it's at, you gotta vacuum it out. So I got the vacuum pump hooked up now, running to the gauge. So you want to make sure you hook up to your low side and your high side, open them up. The way you open them up is you turn the knob to the right. It pushes the valve down and allows the fluid to go in, or the vacuum for it to pull vacuum. And to close it, you turn it to the left, and that'll release the pressure off the valve inside of this the valve right there. So you got the gauges up, hooked up. Make sure the gauges are open both sides up. All right, so once you turn the pump on, it should pull the system down to 28 to 30 inches of mercury. Y'all can see that there. So pretty sure that's the only leak I had. It better be, because I don't want to have to go through this again to waste refrigerant. But yeah, so let's pull this down. We're going to turn this on, pull the vacuum down in the system, and then we're going to let it sit. Let it pull it down for at least 30 minutes. And then we're going to go from there. So you start seeing it drop. See the needle dropping down. So the quicker it drops down, the better, because that kind of tells you that it's less of a leak, or it's even smaller of a leak. But if it took forever for it to drop down, and that means you definitely got a leak somewhere, or your pump isn't working. So that's why you might want to do the maintenance on your vacuum pump. So here we go. So we're pulling down to 28 to 30 inches of mercury. So we're gonna let this sit for about 30 minutes, pull it out, get whatever moisture that got in there from me opening up that line, and then we're gonna go from there. All right, y'all, so the pump ran for at least 30 minutes and pulled the system down into a vacuum, and then I let it sit for at least another hour. So as you can see, it's sitting right between 28 and 30 inches of mercury. So it appears that we don't have a leak. All right, but yeah, we should have fixed the leak with that new O-ring. So before you take off your pump, make sure you close these valves first, and then turn your pump off so you can keep the vacuum sealed on the system. So now we vacuumed out the system, got all the moisture out, and got a good seal on there. Now we can switch this hose over to the tank. so we can charge it up. All right, y'all, so I got the refrigerant tank hooked up. The valve is open. Both of these valves are closed for now. This valve is still open. Your high and low side are still open, but these two valves are closed right now. Once we start the truck, we're going to leave this valve closed and we're going to slightly open this one to allow the refrigerant to run down through the system. So let me grab my infrared gun. And since that last video, I went and bought me another infrared gun. Pop this door open real quick. All right, so I'm gonna get in the truck right now. I'll start it up, and I can show y'all exactly like where the temp is at now with this new gauge, this infrared gun. So let's see real quick. Truck shouldn't be that. I had it running like, it's been like 3 hours now, so it's probably cooled down a little bit. So let's turn on the AC real quick. I feel like I got cold air already. I knew it ain't no cold air in there, so that's just cool air blowing. Now today it's like it's not as warm as it was last time I did this. I think it was around like 90 degrees or hotter the last time I did it. As y'all can see, it says 73 degrees, so it's like 70 out there or something like that. Alright, so we got it on reset, temp all the way down. We'll grab our new gun. Now this one is dual laser, y'all. Got 2 lasers on it. Y'all see it? Yeah, got that new John. If your infrared gun ain't got 2 lasers on it, you need to level up. Alright, so look. So we getting 80.2 degrees out the vent right now. So we know that ain't cold. Gotta be much colder than that. So let's get out. Charge her up real quick. Alright, so we already know the tank is open. This valve, both valves are open. This valve is closed. You don't want it going in on your high side, just your low side. Now we want to see if the let's add a little bit of refrigerant in there. AC compressor ain't gonna turn on yet. So once we start adding refrigerant in here, this gauge is gonna go up. So you're gonna go out of vacuum. Add a little bit in there slow. You should hear the AC turn on. Hold on. I had my flashlight, now I don't know where it's at. Oh, okay. Put them up there in the docking station. All right. Got refrigerant flowing in there. The AC is on. So today it's not as hot, so your low side is not going to be as high as it would be on a hotter day. Same thing for your high side. Like on a hot day, you might be around 225, 250, but today it's pretty cool right now, so probably won't even go past like 175, something like that. Let's get in the truck real quick. Ooh, yeah, it's already getting colder in here. me see, y'all. This is just a real quick follow-up, man, because I thought I had it good the last time. So we got it down to 71 so far. We're gonna put more in there though. That's 78 in the middle. Usually the middle might be colder than the outer ones. So we're getting down to 64. You know what I mean? Let it run a little bit, let it equalize. Let's get out. Now, if you had a refrigerant AC tank, you could put exactly how much you need in there, and it'll basically do all the work for you. So this truck takes, this is without rare AC, this is with rare AC. So this truck takes 9.8 ounces for the front and rear AC. So as you can see, it's fluctuating, it's going up and down. See that? So we need a little bit more refrigerant in there. Just a little bit, not a lot. Don't get carried away, all right? Remember, too much refrigerant is just as bad as no refrigerant, all right? So if you put too much refrigerant in your AC system, your system's gonna get hot. It's literally gonna feel like hot air. You know what I mean? So you don't want to put too much in there. You put too much in there, it's going to damage the system. All right, so I'm gonna mess around with this for a couple more minutes, get it right where I want it, and I'll be back. All right, y'all, so we back in the truck right now. The gauges are sitting at about 30 on the low side and around 180 on the high side, give or take. So I think I'm heat soaking the truck because I've seen it as low as 30 and now it's bumping back up above 40. But I think when we started we was around about 80. So I mean, it's freezing in here right now, but I want to see that 30. But with the garage doors, with no airflow in here, I mean the garage doors are open, but it's not no airflow in here like it would be if we was outside. So the system gonna work a little harder, and it is what it is. So I guess this video shows you that sometimes one procedure on diagnosing whatever the diagnosis is, you know, one procedure may not be enough. Sometimes you got to approach it in different ways. So like if I had a refrigerant sniffer where you can go around your AC system and it'll basically sniff out AC leaks, like if I had something like that, that would have further helped me out with finding that leak before, you know, I charged it up like I did the last time. So I mean, the vacuum pump did what it did and it does what it do. So you still need a vacuum pump regardless when you're doing AC work. So it's not like the vacuum pump failed or anything. It's just that was a really slow, super duper slow leak. So, and again, I didn't see the residue because it wasn't no refrigerant in there to begin with. So so yeah, so this was basically a video of fixing my I don't know if you want to call it a mess up or not, but yeah, it is what it is. So now we got cold air once again. So hopefully this video shows you guys how to use a vacuum pump and how to charge the AC system, and maybe think about taking other little small routes before you charge up the AC system. You know, maybe you want to buy like an AC sniffer, or double check the system with air and water for any leaks. But yeah, make sure you got also make sure you got dye in your system. That may help you out with seeing your AC leak also, but you will need those refrigerant glasses if you're going to use the dye. So yeah, man, hopefully this time this AC system stays cold and is fixed and it keeps working as good as it's been working. So yeah, if I helped y'all on this video, hit the like button, share the video, comment below, subscribe to the channel, and I'll check y'all on the next one. Alright y'all, a little bit of bonus footage. So I wanted to show y'all that I did get as low as 30 degrees, but right now we sitting at 32 degrees, so it's still fluctuating. But yeah, if you get your AC system anywhere near down there in the 30s, your car cabin is going to be cold regardless. So just wanted to show you guys that. Catch you on the next one.